not serving with the family, there was a grieving process in that. That was tough.
I had a unique perspective on the process. That was different.
And I just want to encourage anybody who's going through a decision right now.
And just as believers, we have to be ready to go wherever God is sending us, even when it's uncomfortable.
This is called Deeper Waters. I think it's a lot of muddy waters. What up, y'all? It's your boy Germ.
And Joey.
And we are Kingdom Movement here for another episode of Deeper Waters. So we're going deep. We are actually going deep in some waters on
So come
tonight.
on and dive in with us.
You know what? I think we should just start there. One of the things that I've probably never publicly talked about is my transition period. As I think some people don't even know, especially anymore, that I transitioned my Sunday service to the Remedy Church in Akron, Ohio.
Yes.
And I think it leaves a big topic that's in church, and it's church membership, leaving a church, being a member at one church, serving at another church. I think it's a lot of, this is called Deeper Waters. I think it's a lot of muddy waters when it comes to these topics.
Yeah.
Because a lot of churches do not believe that you can serve in one ministry or let me say it like this. A lot of churches don't believe that you can serve in multiple ministries. A lot of leaders don't believe that you can serve in multiple ministries. So what happens when you feel God calling you to an assignment, but your spiritual and natural parents are still at home?
Yeah.
And you're conflicted
Yeah.
because there's not an issue that's chasing you away. Let's be real about it and let's talk about it. People walk away from ministries for a plethora of reasons. A lot of them have to do with people being mad, people being hurt, people being angry. But what we don't talk about in our culture, in our society, is what happens when that's not existing.
Right.
You're not mad, you're not hurt, you're not angry, you're not bothered. You still want the covering of your spiritual father, your spiritual mother. But God is calling you to an assignment that's not home. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's where I sat in a place of, I don't know.
So I wanted to say, because I had a unique perspective on the process of you leaving and making the decision to serve at another location that was different. I think that, number one, anytime you are following the will of God for your life, which you know by reading His Word and living before God daily and seeing how He guides you, submitting to God, you know that you're following His will. You know that your steps are ordered.
Yeah.
And so in the process of that, I know sometimes you have to make decisions that are uncomfortable. And I know there was a period of discomfort for you just because you were leaving someplace that was home.
Yeah.
You weren't going to be there.
Home. Yeah.
You weren't going to be there like you were. And it's not that your presence has completely left, but it's the fact that there's been a complete shift. Sunday morning is big. And so I think there's a lot to that, and everyone doesn't always understand, and we don't always understand the ins and outs, but I think that's where it really takes faith. We talked about muddy waters at the beginning, and I believe that when we're following God, everything is not clear cut.
Yeah.
I love things to be clear cut. I don't like any type of confusion or chaos.
I want God to come down in a white light and tell me exactly what to do and then go back.
Wouldn't that be easier? Wouldn't that be so much better to us?
My God.
But I think that the way God leads us is a way that challenges us, challenges our faith, and helps to increase our faith. We don't get faith increase all the time by everything being easy.
Right. I 100% agree with that. And this whole journey has been a faith walk, going into a space where I don't really know anybody. I ain't got my crew with me. Having to build different relationships with different people. It's stretched me in a way that I never thought I needed to be stretched. But it's proven to me that everything God does is, first of all, it's perfect. And there's always a reason behind it. Even though we don't want to deal with the reasoning behind it, there's always a reason why God does what he does. And, I honestly want to speak to it because I went through, I don't want to call it a depression, but I went through a grieving process, stepping away from being with the family weekly. Because, I was seeing the family daily. I was still serving in ministry. Restoration is my forever home, so I'll never depart from it completely. But it was like not serving with the family. There was a grieving process in that. That was tough. And it's almost like I had to secretly grieve because other people are grieving. And then, but I'm jumping into this entire machine that is ready to go. So it's like, what do you do when it's time to go? It's time to move on, but your heart is still hurting.
So, two things. I thought about Joshua. In Joshua 1, God told Joshua, Moses, my servant, is dead. Get up and lead my people. And I paraphrased it. It's a process that we go through, but there's still emotion that we have to go through as well.
That's so good.
And then also I thought about Genesis 12, familiar story for many of us. Abram, before he was Abraham, God said, Genesis 12:1, now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. And then he gave him the promise. But there comes a point in all of our lives when we have to go, and as worship leaders, we have to be ready to make that move and be uncomfortable sometimes. And just as believers, we have to be ready to go wherever God is sending us, even when it's uncomfortable, because it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. And we have to hold on to that faith and feed our faith.
I believe that so much. Now, 2.5 years later, I can look back and I'm with you. I'm with you with all that. But in that moment, it didn't feel like that. And I just want to encourage anybody who's going through a decision right now. In ministry, there's always a decision to make. And God is consistently speaking and God is consistently moving. And it's important that we don't get stagnant in what God said.
Right.
But we move into what God is saying. And don't be swayed by your emotion. That's a whole episode in itself. It's controlling the emotion and the feelings that you have and learning to take that and say, okay, this is what I feel, but this is what God is saying. And honestly, I want to speak to as well. We have to understand that we are human.
Yes.
I think everybody has to understand that there's a human element in every major
You
decision.
got to have space to
Yes.
feel the feels
Yeah.
and go through the process.
Right.
Just because you do one thing don't mean you feel that thing.
In church membership and where you serve or where God has you, it's not the end of your world. It's not the end of their world. It's not the end of anything. If I can be honest, it's the beginning of a season that God has positioned you to do a work. It's the beginning of a season, and life is filled with seasons. So I say that to encourage you. I know a lot of times we see pastors speak from a certain perspective on a lot of pods. A lot of pastors are giving their perspectives on church membership, church hopping, doing all this stuff. But I don't see a lot of non-pastors speaking to the heart of what's in the mind of the person that's evaluating and deciding what God is saying to them in this season for them and their family. And I think that's what we have to continue to speak to and encourage other worship leaders, associate ministers, just lay members from any perspective. Hear God and move in what you hear God saying.
Right.
Everybody's going to be okay. We going to be all right.
Yes.
That's all I got to say.
Whew. That's good. That's so good.